What is up, Reds? Welcome to the Sunday Summary. I'm your host, Kyle, and today we got to talk about all the big news surrounding Liverpool FC. We got players coming back from injury. Van Dijk, Diaz, well, not Diaz yet, Diogo Jota, Bobby Firmino ahead of the Merseyside Derby. How is everyone doing this morning? Let us know in the live chat. Steve, how are you, man?
Feeling good. Not looking forward to the match. Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to watching, but not looking forward to seeing how it goes.
Way
I
to
don't
get
feel
all
good about it.
negative on me, bro.
Yeah, I don't feel good about it. We're just really bad.
You don't think we can pull out this win, though, man? I think we could pull this win out.
Well, I think that every week, and they proved me wrong.
Yeah,
So
that's true. That's very accurate. So far this year, I have thought the same exact thing about every single match, and we end up losing. So, well,
is
not.
this home?
I actually haven't looked, to be honest with you.
Um, I can tell you right now. Yeah, it's home.
All right, so we're playing at Anfield, so we got that going for us. All right, Sean Dyche, Sean Dyke, Sean Dyche. It's Dyche, right?
I think it's Dyche.
Sean Dyche, in at the wheel for Everton now after Frank Lampard gets fired. Steve, I remember you said he'd last 3 months at the beginning of the season. 2 or 3 months, I think.
Who?
Frank Lampard. And he somehow managed 5 months, man. 5 months behind the wheel. And now
Yeah,
Sean Dyche is in there, and I think they got to win their last match.
I mean, Lampard had he built like a chemistry and like morale. I'll give
Yeah.
him that. But the results have to come, and they're not going to with him. He does not need another job in this league. Like you can only get so many chances, and especially for a guy that really hasn't proven anything, like at all. Where was he with Derby before?
See, Derby County, I think he should have stayed with them. I
Yeah, but
really
he
think he
wants
should
to
have.
be in the Premier League because he was an excellent player, one of the best ever, and that does not translate to management
He's been
whatsoever.
He's been an absolute garbage manager in the Premier League. And
The worst,
that's
the
not to
worst.
say that's not to say that you can't be a great manager elsewhere. I mean, Steven Gerrard is a perfect example. He did great things over at Rangers. I mean, he was really, really good at Rangers, helped turn that club around. And comes to the Premier League, very below average manager for the personnel that he had. So,
Yeah, he's gotten everything he's ever wanted from like a player's perspective.
oh God, yeah.
He's been bought every player he's ever wanted, even at Everton. Look at all the players they brought in this year. It's crazy.
Yeah, but Everton don't exactly have the same capital that Chelsea have, so the quality of player that they're bringing in, not to say that Andre Onana or whatever his name is in the midfield hasn't been pretty good for them. Um, but you look at their attacking line with the players like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who hasn't exactly lived up to the same kind of play that he was at last year at the beginning of the season. You look at what Damari Gray, Anthony Gordon. Did Anthony Gordon leave during the transfer window? I have to follow up on this stuff,
Yeah,
dude.
he went to Newcastle.
That's what I thought. Okay. So, um, and then their midfield. I mean, you gotta. They're not exactly the best team, but that doesn't mean you can't get results. That doesn't mean you can't get results. I mean, you look at teams that are ahead of us in the table right now. We can't really talk any smack about people right now.
Yeah, I think they brought in Tarkowski. Um, they brought back Idrissa Gay. Decore's there. Who else did they bring in? Connor Cody?
Yeah, they brought
Yep.
Connor Cody on loan. I don't know if he went back to Wolves. I think he's still there though.
I think he's still here as well. The point is they've brought in players that are Premier League caliber players
Yeah.
that have been in the league, and they're still just not getting it done. I will say this: we've let up the same amount of goals as they have this year, which is brutal stat to see.
We gave up 26 goals all of last season. How many goals have we given up this year, Steve?
28, I think.
Oh my God. It's just so
It's bad.
bad. It's just so freaking bad. We got to tighten up on defense, man. Got to tighten up on defense. And this game, we're not going to, if we're going to lose this game, I can't believe I'm saying that. If we're going to lose this game, it's going to be like a 1-0. All right. Deichball, they're not going to put 8 goals past us. Okay. But they are going to defend. And the way our attack has been playing recently, dude, what the hell are we going to do? We got to put the ball in the back of the net. We need Darwin Nunez to finish the chances that he gets.
They've only scored 16 goals in the league.
Wow. Is that
So
less
it's
than
less
1 goal
than
a
one
game?
per. Yeah. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they're sitting in 18th right now.
18th place. Yeah.
4
Wow.
wins, 6 draws, 11 losses. 18 points. Tied with Bournemouth. And 3 points above Southampton, who are rock bottom.
Southampton, man. You'd think they'd be much better, but let's look. I want to go to the Premier League's website, preview this match here. Steve kind of did all the legwork for me, but I just want to take a second to thank everyone in the chat for joining us. Make sure you leave a like on the video. Shout out to all our channel members. Hannah, Liz, Doug is in here. Got Shayna in here. Albert, what's going on, everyone? Shout out to the squad. All right. Let me go over here. Also, I did some, I know you told me to watch some videos on the Man City thing. I watched a documentary on it, or like a, YouTube made documentary last night on it. And the accusations are pretty extensive. It's not just like, they lied about, they lied about salaries. They're getting accused of, um, you know, outsourcing salaries of certain players over various years. I mean, it's like crazy stuff.
They're in deep trouble. There's no doubt about it. Now, the extent of the punishment obviously remains to be seen, but it could be relegation. One thing I'm not sure of is if they can like strip titles. They did that to Juventus. I think they gave 1 or 2 to maybe Napoli or Inter, or they did it to Inter. They did it to
They
one of
can
those teams.
absolutely do it. It's a question of, do they have the balls to do it? Because the Premier League, this is the problem with this sport, is that UEFA, we've seen it with UEFA. UEFA do not have the balls to go through with it. When you look at the previous thing, I can't remember what year it was in, but remember Man City took them to court and just kept fighting, and eventually they just gave up. Eventually,
UEFA.
UEFA, yeah, and eventually Man City were fined like what, 15 million dollars. That's it. They don't have the balls to do it. You need to have the balls.
Well, what happened was with UEFA, there's a timetable of when the charges become essentially like null and void, almost like double jeopardy. They just expire, and that's what happened with a lot of those charges. Was they just expired from a time perspective, and then I believe they fined them for not cooperating. But Man City fans will say, "Well, we were innocent," but the reality is, the facts are that time ran out on a lot of those, and UEFA just folded
Yeah,
in
and
the proceedings.
fortunately for City, and this is how it should be as well for everybody, you're innocent until proven guilty. So the burden of proof is on the prosecution, but at the same time, it's like with enough money, you can make yourself innocent. Like, and that's kind of
Absolutely.
what it seems like, you know? And it's like at this point, with a team that's been dominating this long, winning 6 of the last 11 Premier League titles, if they've cheated in doing so, like, dude, you gotta punish them. You can't just let that slide.
They'll get punished, but I just don't think we'll see much for a while. They'll certainly get punished.
I
It's just
freaking
a
hope.
matter of what they want to settle on, because everything's a settlement. So what's Man City willing to accept? They don't want to get relegated or demoted, but that's what they're going to push for, I think. But the Premier League doesn't have this timetable clause. So it doesn't matter. They can't like hang their hat on that this time around. So there will be punishment. Again, it's just a matter of how severe. Doug says, "See, I wouldn't want titles be stripped and handed us. We lost them by not being good enough over 38 games. It would be weird not be able to celebrate them. Charges are extortionate against City." Yeah, if they strip titles and give them to us, like what I'll feel is just happy that City don't have them. It'll be great to have them for us. But what they did in Italy years ago was they gave titles. It was either 2 or 3 seasons. They gave 1 or 2 to the other team, and then 1 was just, like, stripped and marked as void. Even if they did that, that's fine. Just mark them as, like, void. Now, I want them. There's no like, I don't agree with Doug on that point, like, I want them.
You want
Um,
them. Yeah.
yeah, Liz says she just wants to void them. We don't need a huge celebration, but, like, we finished 2nd, we won the league,
Yeah.
essentially, if Man City was cheating. So,
See, I don't know. I actually kind of agree with Doug to a certain extent in the sense that, you know, despite them cheating off the field, they still had to win it on the field. So I don't know if necessarily like maybe stripping them of titles and making it void is kind of that's what I would think would be the best option. You shouldn't give it to the second place team. You should just strip it. Um, I honestly think that the penalty should be relegation. Like that is probably the most relegation and a hefty fine, dude. Like a
it
hefty fine.
it's gonna be a major fine.
Like I'm talking like $1 billion fine. 500
Yeah,
million $1 billion fine.
yeah, it's gonna be insane, and they can also, like, put a ban on transfers.
Oh, they have oh my
Um,
god, they have to. I'm
they're whatever they do is going to damage City heavily because players will leave at that point. If either of those things happen, transfer ban, um, relegation, the players aren't going to play in the second league. They're also not going to generate as much revenue, so they're not going to be able to afford things. It's all designed where you spend what you earn. City wasn't doing that. It's blatant cheating.
right.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then I'm wondering how Chelsea are getting away with this too, because we saw the revenue calendar. We saw the revenue chart. We saw that Liverpool are second or third behind Madrid and City for revenue generated over the last year. Chelsea only generated like 500. I say only like it's not a lot, but it is 500 million in revenue. And they're spending how much? How much did they just spend?
quite a bit, but I don't know if the purchase price of players matters in this. Someone let us know in the chat. Like, wages come into effect for sure.
Well,
What you
that would make it
report,
even more, Steve. That
but
would make
what
it
I'm saying
even
is, like,
more.
if they spend 500 million on a player, I don't know if that counts towards this.
I don't see how it
Purchasing a
wouldn't.
player, I don't know if that counts.
It is a good point to bring up because you got agent fees, wages, you got all that stuff. I get that. Um, but that's got to count. You're spending the money.
Yeah.
So we did go off on a little bit of tangent there with Man City. Let's get back to previewing the Merseyside Derby here. All right. Make sure you guys slap a like on the video in the comment or in the comments. Comment in the comments. Like the video. All right, let's go take a look at Liverpool and Everton playing on USA over here in the States. Now, going into the match, we know we have a possibility of Diogo Jota being available for the match. He's going to be reevaluated. Um, I don't think it's smart to let him play. Personally, I think the boys should be able to get this done without a shadow of a doubt, without Diogo Jota. I think you save Diogo Jota for Madrid. Just don't rush any of these players back, dude. I'm firm on that stance. I'm very firm on that stance.
So I would agree there. And I don't think they will. I don't that's not a good decision. I don't think that'll happen. But it would be nice to see some fresh faces.
Oh my God, look at that attack. That attack is nasty.
Haven't seen a lot of those guys.
That's what I'm saying. But look at that attack.
You almost forget like who we have.
I know. And then you go and look at I mean, look at Everton. I mean, they're names you know, but don't even try to compare them to who we have. I mean, it's insane.
Liz says I can't believe Tiago's out for 4 weeks. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Tiago's out now for 4 weeks, dude.
It was too good to be true anyways. He was healthy for a while. He was fit for a while. He's
Yeah,
always hurt.
I'm surprised Keita's not out yet.
Seriously. But the Tiago thing doesn't surprise me. It's not ideal, but it doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
Right. So, you got Diogo Jota potentially coming back. So, if we're looking at a starting lineup for going against Everton, you're obviously thinking you're going Nunez, Salah, and Gakpo. That's who you have to start, and those two should be able to get it done. All right, Diogo Jota, again, we talked about it. Diogo Jota, Van Dijk, and Bobby Firmino all back in first team training. Luis Diaz is back training, but not with the team. He's running, he's cutting, things of that nature. So he's probably a week or two away, if I had to guess, maybe more. Konate, hamstring, still got 2 weeks. You got Thiago now out for 4 weeks. I don't understand, dude. Why can't freaking... I just don't get it. I just don't understand how we have so many injuries. I don't understand it at all.
Well,
It's got to be the training regimen. It has to be the
these guys
training.
are getting older, dude. Think about the players we're talking about.
Yeah,
They're
I
older.
know. I mean, Steve, Konate is not old. He's 23.
No. And that I think that's like a normal like injury. Like every club has those with younger players, but these guys are older. Hopefully, with a refresh in the squad, I'm getting a little bit of echo, I think, through your speakers.
Ace knocked my speakers.
Um,
Still echoing?
yeah.
Damn. All right, I'll be back. Keep going.
Kyle's gonna go grab his headphones. So with the refresh, we're hopeful there's gonna be a refresh in the summer. We'll bring in younger, like more youth players that will ideally, in theory, not get injured as often. So I think this is part of the way we play. I think it's part of the fact that there's been a lot of games played in years past, especially last year, even with the World Cup. These guys are fatigued. But again, the Thiago thing, I'm not surprised by that at all. He's known for injuries. And people don't like to point that out. They like to talk about Keita. Even Jota is always hurt. Matip.
Yeah, Jota's been hurt
Right.
pretty much the entire time he's been here, dude. It's kind of crazy.
It is. And he's a good player, but like we just don't know what he's fully capable of. He had a great year last year, don't get me wrong, but he's always injured. So hopefully whoever we bring in has a good injury history. Hopefully.
Steve, you did a hell of a job holding it down there, man. All right,
But
let's
that's
get
like
into
the
this.
reason I was thinking of like Ruben Neves. Like I don't love the player, but he's fit always. And he plays in this league.
Until he comes here, dude.
Until he comes here.
Till he comes here. Let's get into this head-to-head between Liverpool and Everton, guys. We got Liverpool taking home 26 wins out of 61 played, with 25 of these matches draws. You know, the Merseyside Derby, or any derby for that matter, form goes out the window. All right, this is all about rivalry. This is about intensity. Who's going to bring it on the day? Luckily, it's at Anfield. Everton are going to definitely come into this match thinking they have the best of us because of how we've played. And now Everton have a new energy under a new manager, and they're obviously trying to fight relegation. I think the battle trying to fight relegation is much more energizing than trying to get top four, in my opinion. I think Everton are going to be a tough team to deal with. And if we don't come into this game with intensity, with purpose, Everton are going to win. They're going to get a goal. And that worries me, dude, especially with them sitting deep. If they counterattack quickly, bro, that's it. It's 1-0.
They literally are walking into this game, and Dyche is telling them, "You just need to score one. Defend, defend, defend. You just need to score one, so that we
Yeah.
can get a win or a draw, because we can't score."
No.
Hopefully that changes, but if we play like we have been playing, they'll win this game 1-0, or it'll be a 0-0.
It's the odds are
Everton's not going to put 2, 3, 4 past you, most likely. Definitely not 3 or 4.
no, no, they don't have the ability. I mean, of course, watch, they might. If they play us, they might. Look at Wolves, scored 3 after not only scoring 6 the whole year. I mean, when you play Liverpool, anything can happen, guys. I mean, we've seen that. Let's go to the recent meetings here. I know we don't like to talk about the recent meetings as having any bearing, but it is what it is. Recent meeting back in September, 0-0 draw at Goodison. I'm trying to remember that game, and I don't remember that game at all.
The 0-0?
Yeah, I don't remember that game at all, dude.
That was this year, this
Yeah,
season.
that was this season.
Um,
I don't remember that game at all. I mean, that we didn't miss much. It was 0-0, but
yeah.
I'm just
No, I
trying to
don't either.
I don't
It's
remember
all a blur.
like I
Everything
literally
before the
don't
World Cup is a blur.
yeah, I don't remember that game. But 0-0 at Goodison. We struggled to score at Goodison anyway, except for this match here. It looks like we smoked them there. But 0-0 earlier in the season. We got to get a dub. Tony, Fly Girl, what's going on? Fly Girl, welcome. Did Fly Girl become a channel member and I didn't know about it? Shout out to Fly Girl for becoming a channel member. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support that you channel members show. Seriously, you guys keep the channel rolling.
I
So
think
thank you
Liz
very much.
donated the membership.
Did Liz donate the membership?
They're talking about it in the chat here. I'm having a hard time following.
I didn't even know you could do that now. Let's go, Liz.
That's great.
That's amazing. I love Liz. Absolutely love. How does Fly
Kyle,
Girl
how
get
does
the
yeah.
how does Fly Girl get the Discord link? So normally I would just put it in the DMs on Twitter. But what I can do, I still haven't figured out how to do this. Let me see if I can share the Discord link in the chat here, guys. Give me a second.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Well, I have settings on where I can approve people who get in.
Uh,
All right. I'll try that. All right, let's see what else we're doing here. Form guide. Oh, that form is so bad for Liverpool. Good God.
oh yeah, they beat Arsenal. I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude, they beat Arsenal, man.
Tarkowski, I think. McNeil to Tarkowski, a Burnley link up. I think Doug mentioned
Burnley link up at Everton. Oh my
with Doug.
God.
I think.
Oh
I think that's
God.
what
All
it
right.
was.
Let me try this out. Can I do a private chat? I don't think I can do a private chat. All right,
Yeah,
I'm
you
coming
can.
into the account now. And of course, we can just kick people if anyone tries to get in, but oh man. All right, let me get in here.
Yo Cool says we all know it's going to be long balls and set pieces with Dykes. Yeah, it's going to be an ugly game. I think if we can get out ahead early, which is unlikely, they'll be forced to play. Because with the rivalry, they don't want to get blown out. But if we could get like two goals in the first half, something like that, they're not going to be able to rely on that strategy.
Jordan, what's
But
going on?
people
Yeah,
seem pretty happy with like the Dyche appointment of manager, and it's
to be
just going to
honest, I
be it's
would
not
too.
what they need. Like,
I honestly, I would be happy with it.
but it's not going to. It may help them maybe avoid relegation by scraping out draws and like parking the bus, but the club's not going to advance under that guy.
All I'm saying is I I thought Sean Dyche, for the personnel he had at Burnley, did phenomenal, dude. Absolutely phenomenal. I think for where Everton are at in the table right now, the types of managers that they are able to attract, he's the perfect appointment for Everton. That's just me. That's just where my head's at.
Well, didn't they have Carlo?
Yeah, for like half a season or something.
Yeah, I don't know how they got him, but they need someone of that caliber to come and stick around and rebuild everything. But I
Hey,
think
by
they'll
the way,
still get
Fly Girl,
relegated.
try. Oh, Fly Girl said, thanks, Kyle. I got it. Okay. Let me see if I can accept people now. All right. See if you can get in there, Fly Girl, and keep me updated. Sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
I still think they're going to get relegated.
Nah, I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening.
I'm looking at the table here. Southampton, Leeds, and West Ham are above them. Those are the two they're worried about, and I just think they're better teams. And Leeds could potentially be like reinvigorated after the changes they have. I think West Ham. We've seen West Ham like fight for top four, like you know.
Yeah, what a turnaround. I mean, they're kind of having the season we're having. I mean, they had a great season last season, and now all of a sudden they're garbage.
They can't score.
Well, apparently neither can we.
19 goals.
Somehow, somehow we still have 1.7 goals per match. That's insane. That's really only because of the Bournemouth match. If we take that Bournemouth match out, I guarantee you we're like 1 goal a match.
Brentford have scored more goals than us. Brighton have scored more goals than us.
Good God.
And Newcastle. The other teams that have scored more, I'm not surprised by.
Yeah.
But Newcastle, Brighton, and Brentford, and Fulham have the same amount of goals as us. That's just ridiculous.
It's not acceptable. And it bothers me because of the quality we have. We're in 10th place. All right. We have 8 wins and 7 losses, Steve. 7 losses.
It's ridiculous. We've talked about it so much. There's like nothing we can say about it. It has to change at some point, and it will. It's just a matter of if it's going to be too late at that time.
Carragher said a quote earlier this week, and he had said that we have done a phenomenal job of assembling the squad. We meaning, FSG, Klopp. But you talk about this as well, Steve. The window. We rode the window. We did as much as we could in the window we had with these players. And everyone did a great job. The mistake that FSG made is that they let the club ride that wave too long. They didn't fret. They tried to just keep it going. One more year, one more year. And I get it because you look at the season we had last year, arguably the best season because of where we put ourselves position wise at the end of the season, not the outcome. The outcome wasn't, in my opinion, the best season. But the fact that we had the opportunity to win 4 trophies up until the last day, basically, would tell me as a club owner, we actually probably don't need to freshen up the squad that much, dude, which is understandable. But then you get into this. This is how quick things turn around in the Premier League. This is how on top of your shit you need to be if you're owning a European football club, okay? Or any club for that matter. We're in 10th place now. You go from being in every trophy possible to 10th place. You cannot get complacent. And so basically, Carragher was saying that FSG has let the club down by not taking the opportunity to build on what they've already built. They kind of just let it rot. It's not FSG. I think FSG have done a great job, but they are complacent. They kind of just let the club go in a way. And this is the result we're getting now, where we have to wait until next summer and hope that we can pull it out. I don't think any club should ever be in that predicament and have an excuse for it. So, for example, Chelsea have no excuse. None. Zero excuse. The amount they've invested and the place they're in, no excuse. You got a brand new manager this year, no brand new owner, zero excuse for Chelsea. See ya. Liverpool have excuses. Okay, it's injuries, lack of investment, those sorts of things. But
And it's all recent. Like, after the season we had last year, I didn't really care that we didn't do a ton of business in the summer. It's turned out to be it turned out to be a mistake once you started to see how this season was going in the fall, up until the World Cup, after the World Cup. But when the January window opens, they had a chance to salvage things. And before 6 weeks ago, I didn't really care about FSG. I didn't love them. I didn't hate them. I wasn't FSG out. But at this point, you had your opportunity to bring in new players and fight for top four, and they didn't. I don't want to hear it's that simple. You had an opportunity to turn things around. You didn't make any changes except Gakpo. Who cares about Gakpo? He's obviously going to need time to develop, or he's going to be a flop. It doesn't matter. Tony's saying it here. What they showed was, and I believe they tried to do business, but maybe they couldn't find the right deal. Like maybe they're bargain hunting. I don't know. But regardless, we're in the worst position that we were before the January transfer window. Now, because of those decisions and lack of changes, we're not going to make top four. You can pull up the table, you can show me the numbers and say, oh, we still could. Of course we still could. But why would you not make any changes in January? Anything.
yeah. Do you think Liverpool are scared to bring in players that will sit on the bench for a year or two because of the message that sends? Like, for example, okay, so you buy Thiago immediately starts playing. You buy Gakpo, immediately starts playing. Konate almost immediately starts playing. The only one in recent memory, correct me if I'm wrong, who you buy and didn't immediately play was like Simikas and Fabinho. I'm trying to remember another player that we bought and didn't immediately start playing. Nunez started playing immediately, right?
I
Am
don't
I
think
missing?
no. I don't think that's the case at
He
all.
didn't?
I think no, he did.
Oh,
But what I'm saying is you're asked a question, are they scared to bring players in that are going to sit on the bench? No, I don't. I think this all happened because the club is potentially for sale to some extent. They don't want to bring in new debt or spend money if they're just going to sell it. That has a big part of it.
true.
But maybe don't decide you're going to sell the club until the summer.
Yeah,
Or
decide right
if
in
you
the middle of
decided
the
you were going
freaking
to
year, dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
if you
what?
decided you were going to sell in December or whenever it came out, October, November, I don't even remember. Well, then you started to make that decision last summer. You don't just wake up one morning and go, I'm going to sell Liverpool or look for an investment partner. So they've had chances. It is time for a change now. Even if they spend 300 million this summer, we still need new ownership, I believe. I'm
Yeah.
not going to lose sleep over it, but it has to be done because this will just happen again.
Yeah. We've talked about it before. I am very much I think FSG have done and continue to do a great job, but they have reached a point now where they're not investing the amount that they need to invest. All right. And now they've brought on, like you said, this other case of trying to sell the club, and that's preventing them from investing even more. And at a moment right now where we're 10th in the league, you can see it right here. You can't have that kind of drama, lack of investment behind the scenes. You gotta keep investing. You have to. You gotta keep investing. So, all right. Look, I just want to pull this up and show you, Steve. 5 clean sheets each. It's just unbelievable. It's just absolutely unbelievable. We actually concede more goals per match than Everton do. Okay. If we go into the top player stats, Bobby Firmino is still our leading scorer in the Premier League. Let me see those Bobby freaking emojis in the chat, man. Where's my blonde tips, Bobby? Where is he? I'll put one in there. I'll put one in there. Where's it at?
That's the one player I think when he comes back will change things. Of course, I want Diaz back, Jota. I think that'll help us score more, but Bobby will make us look like the old Liverpool to some extent.
God, my God, he's just
No
like
player can do what he does.
nobody, nobody. And I did see reports that were looking to extend him by a year or two. And I know, Steve, you got to get going. So if you got to hop out, you can just go. But we got Mo Salah, 7 goals in the Premier League. Darwin Nunez, 5. So we still have that production. And now Alex Iwobi, 5 goals out of nowhere. Or
That's
excuse me, 5
assists.
assists. My mistake. Andrew Robertson, 5 assists. Mo Salah with 4 assists. Passes, Van Dijk still leading. Tackles. Oh, how does Thiago have the most tackles on
Because
our
he's been
team?
fit.
Oh
And when he's fit, he plays every match.
my God. That's the
That'll
funniest thing.
change drastically. But what do you think for a result in this match? Like, what's your prediction? We can end on that.
Dude, I hate predictions. I
I'm gonna
absolutely hate.
say 1-1
You're going to say 1-1. What do you
draw.
got? Real quick, guys, put your predictions in the chat. What I will say is that if we let up an early goal, it's done. Like we did against Wolves, we let up an early goal, it's done. We absolutely cannot concede. We cannot concede. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You cannot concede. That's our problem. We have been conceding goals, dude, and we can't score. So if you're conceding, you just can't. You got to give yourself a chance to win. You cannot concede against Everton. Yo Cool says Gomez own goal. Good God.
Liz says 3-1. I hope so. I really hope so.
Oh
But
my
we'll
God.
see tomorrow.
We'll find out soon. Guys, be on the lookout for the watch along as well. And shout out to our newest channel member, Flygirl MD, and all of our channel members. We appreciate the support you guys provide the channel, as well as everyone else who joins us every Sunday. Shout out to you guys. If you like the stream, give it a thumbs up. A little bit of a shorter stream today. That is all good. But guys, be on the lookout for more shorts. We're going to start putting out more shorts content, broken down content, because YouTube is starting to promote it now. And I've noticed I actually kind of like the short content when I'm on YouTube, so hopefully you guys do as well. But Steve, any closing thoughts?
Now let's see what happens tomorrow. It's only time will tell.
Let's do it. Thanks, guys, and until next time, take care.